The I had this thing happen this week that I thought was so symbolic. I don't know if any of you have seen it in the photos or if you've met me, but I have a certain cross. I wear all these deities around my neck, and I have this certain cross that is part of the crowd that I've just worn all these deities around my neck for probably 20 years. And there's a cross, for those of you that know Mexico, it's or I think they have these in Spain too. It's called the Caravaca cross. And it's just a cross I fell in love with years ago. It's like a double cross that has a mystical meaning to it. Anyway, this week, the cross vanished. I don't have any idea how it fell off of my neck because all the other deities were still there. And I just took it as a sign. We talk about this a lot here, that if you're moving through the world, seeing things as signs and omens and, then you get the opportunity to go, all right, well, why is this happening? And what is it here to show me? So when it left, I was like, all right, this has often happened in my life at big turning points, at big, transits of one kind or another. Something vanishes or something breaks, and so suddenly this cross was gone. And so I'd gotten it originally on Mission Street in San Francisco, if some of you know, over there in the Latin section. And so I went back to the store where I'd originally got it, and the woman was like, oh man, those are just, we're not even getting them anymore. They're really, really hard to get these days. You're going to have a lot of trouble finding one. You may not even find one online. They're very difficult to get. Maybe if you travel down to Mexico, you can go find one. But, they're just really hard, and you got it up. So I was like, all right, well, maybe my days of wearing this cross are supposed to be ending. But I was a little bit heartbroken. Anyway, I'm offering it to the divine, and I'm basically like, you know what, if I'm not meant to have this anymore, great, that's fine. Like, free me from the attachment to loving this particular kind of cross. And if I am supposed to have it, then let a miracle come, because those to me are the prayers that they guide my life. This isn't an abstraction. This is pretty much how I move through the world. So it has nothing to do with ignoring desire. Like, there was a part of me that had this desire to find another cross, but what was more critical to me wasn't the desire, but was the willingness to have peace, whether or not it came. So anyway, I'm in that place. I'm offering it. I'm like, if I'm not meant to have one again, let me be fine without that. And if I am, then let a miracle happen. Anyway, I'm driving down Mission Street, and all of a sudden, this car very hurriedly gets out of a parking space like crazy, in such a crazy way that it caught my attention. They were going like 70 miles an hour to get out of the space. And so I'm suddenly going, I'm just going to take their space. It seemed assigned to me. And when I did, I noticed that it was right in front of a jewelry store that I had never noticed or paid any attention to. It was a real ramshackle little shop. I go in. There were probably 40 Caravaca crosses hanging on the wall, these tiny little crosses, every one of them a replica of what I had lost. I walked in, and I said to the guy, where did you get all these? And he's like, oh, you know, they're my thing. I just bring them in all the time. I import them. I'm the Caravaca cross guy. And so, in 2 seconds, I had a new one. And it made me think about this thing of not listening to it just feels like a message over and over in my own life I've had to learn, whether it was with my knees when there were doctors saying, oh, you'll just never walk again, and that'll be okay because you're smart and you'll figure out how to do something from bed. I mean, I got told that when I was 30, and it's just been one thing after another of learning to say that is true without God. But once this force of love is invited in, it surely doesn't mean that every desire happens. That's not the point. Many desires are not meant to happen. But it means that when sometimes, so often, at least in my life, there's just this array of negative prediction coming from this person and that person, and no, they don't make those anymore, and you'll never find that, and no, that illness is just the way it is. And that when you hold that state of curiosity and possibility, you're not glomming on to the thing going, I will find one, I will make it happen, because you're really saying, look, if this isn't meant to occur, then give me peace without this. I truly believe that it's that openness that says, if it's not meant to occur, give me peace and wholeness without it. That's actually what creates that beautiful space of receptivity, because you're not glomming on. You're just open and curious, open to a miracle, open to walking into a store that has more Caravacas crosses than you ever knew could even exist in a tiny ramshackle shop. So I really wanted to share that for that any of you that are in that place where you're hearing, it's like there's a paradox of learning how to offer something without glomming on to the result, which is what people have been brainwashed to do from the manifesting world. Oh, glomming onto it, I want it, I'll just keep hammering the universe till I get it. And this isn't that. This is acknowledging it, offering it, asking to be whole with or without it so you're not a slave to it, and then being open to where you're guided. And sometimes it's literally down the street with, I always look for, like, the crazy driver is often like the sign for me. Like there's some message with the totally crazy driver, or there's some message with, those things that just come out of nowhere and they catch your attention and you're like, all right, what are you trying to tell me right now? So, all right. Divine Beloved, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an easy, open conduit for your prosperity. And let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and it's safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, please let me feel wildly open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. And change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one. All is well.